Hey guys, it's John. In this video, I want to run you through how to get more inbound leads off your organic content. This strategy has helped me not only raise $4.8 million for my clients, but it's helped me grow my business as well. And there's been a huge shift in the market recently. In the last 18 months in particular, people are really moving away from traditional lead generation tactics. Simply put, they're not working anymore. Your market and people in your audience know if they're being sold to. And the 5 people posts, outbound DMs, they're just becoming less and less effective. And personally, I hate doing them. And I know you probably hate doing them as well. Having to cold message strangers to get ghosted or get nothing in response. And I want to show you in this video today what we're going to do to create more inbound dialogue where people can come into our business, into our social media profile, and we can kind of build up nurturing conversations. Because, yeah, I don't know, like, I hate feel like I'm selling to people. I feel like I'm pestering to people. Whereas if I feel like there's already interest there and there's kind of natural chit chat, I'm a lot more easily receptive to building conversations. It's very unnatural for me to kind of go out and seek conversations for conversation's sake because it's incredibly inauthentic. But with this, what you'll find is a lot of them, or a large bottleneck for your business is just getting inbound interest. And what we're doing now is, in terms of trying to shift focus away from getting leads off your organic profile, we want to get connections. And I'll explain what that means shortly. But this is going to be the bottleneck to fix, because if we can get more inbound dialogue, that will build the trust, and people are naturally going to come through and want to progress when they see the rest of your content. People want to buy, we just hate being sold to. And the traditional tactics of outbound, cold DMing, and also 5 people posts, all that sort of stuff, that feels like selling. So the majority of focus here is going to be on your Instagram stories, because Instagram stories are such a fantastic method for turning conversations or turning views and people watching you into conversations. So I really see it as, okay, I'll use this analogy. So if I just scroll across here, every day you've got this river, oh, that's not right. You've got this river going through your Instagram profile. And then that's basically the story function of people at the top of their Instagram browsing through those stories. And what we can do is we can draw a horrendous drawing, and then we can bait the fishing line. So that's you with a fishing rod, and then you're just putting bait in this river every single day, every 24 hours. And that bait might be attractive to this person. We'll call him Mike. And then you're going to put another one. Jesus, this drawing is going to get worse and worse. But I'm trying to just stretch this analogy to kind of help you understand. And this bait is going to be useful for Susan, and so on and so forth. And every day, each thing you dip into the water, it's another opportunity for you to resonate and connect with someone. Now, like I said earlier, a lot of you, myself included, are very guilty of this. We're guilty of just talking about what we do. And this is me for 4 years, because I'm quite introverted, and I think it's more a case of me feeling comfortable in just owning what I do, rather than stepping out my comfort zone and sharing a little bit more about me, where I can be vulnerable, or people can criticize me as a person. Criticize my business, that's kind of understandable, but if I share something that I'm naturally interested in and I get weird reactions to that, which I fear, which I won't get, but that's the fear, it's that projected fear that you put out there, which will stop action. That has limited me in the past to be a bit more myself online. But now I'm trying to share more of it. Obviously, stupid stuff, opinions like Pepsi is probably the best drink in the world. I'm a massive nerd. I paint Warhammer figurines, so I love it. I've done it since I was like 10, or even before that. It is the ultimate sci-fi franchise. It's probably going to be the one thing that's going to save cinema. And when our Lord Protector Henry Cavill takes over, please destroy the amount of shit content and shit TV shows and shit movies that are out right now. Please bring something back that's worthwhile, aka this setting. So I'm sharing more of that on my stories, and for you, what we need to do on this video is break down what can you share. Because right now you're probably thinking, what the hell do I share? People aren't interested in me. And I guarantee you this, if you do exactly the same as someone else does in their life, and you just show that, they'll watch it. Even though they do exactly the same, they'll watch it because they recognize it. So I'll look at it this way. If we have, 12 hours in a day, there's more than that, because we're going to get up, and let's just say you sleep 8 hours. No, we've got loads more. We've got 16 hours, haven't we? 16 hours in a day. Jesus. Let's just see what we can do to rub this out. So 16 hours in a waking day, 18 hours if you're sleeping 6 hours. But if we sleep 8 hours, is 16 hours. So what I want to do is break down some areas and walk it through with you of what you can put on your stories. And then I explain the method of what to do after that. So first, out the get-go, you know, you have routine, morning routine. Now, that's actually pretty hard for someone like me because I'm thinking, well, I get up when it's dark. Rebecca, she's asleep, so I don't want to wake her up. So I'm probably not going to film that. But what you can film is like I get my pre-workout because I train in the mornings. I could do my little, my supplements, kind of share that, like the supplement prep. I could have my meal. And then simple stuff like that. Okay, so right off the get-go, the meal, cream of rice. Obviously, I'm at a point where I can happily spend money on cream of rice, but it's the biggest con ever. For what it is, if you go and get rice flour, which costs like 50p a kilo, whereas people put a bit of flavouring in it, charge it 35 quid or 17 quid or 20 quid, whatever. It's an insult to me of like, okay, I know I'm frugal as fuck, but well, come on, like that just seems such an extortion of money. And I see so many people spunk money up the wall. And that is just, I have an irrational annoyance of that. So I would comment on that. And I'd be saying, no matter how much I earn, I'm still going to be a frugal fuck or, you know, FK because I'm not going to spend money on cream of rice when I can get it for this much. There's something about in me which I resent paying. So again, opinions and attitudes around something so trivial, you're going to get reactions to that. So you've got routine. Then you've obviously got commute to the gym if you like commute to the gym. So that, basically any views, that's not bad, because again, what I do is I walk along, like you can watch my feet and then it pans up, very easy hook, where you can kind of look at what's happening and people will stick around to see what you're looking at. And if it's nice for you, it feels quite nice, it's pleasant. It's remarkably simple stuff. And no, this isn't going to be the thing that's going to sign up loads of clients, but it's going to be the thing that's going to make people watch. It's going to be the thing that increases the watch time on that story, which is going to boost the views of other stories, which is going to get you pushed in front of the story function and be more seen. And then that's how people are going to encounter you. And if it feels similar, I walk there, I do my morning walks, I do this, you know, you're just going to get that resonance starting to kind of fall in to people when they look at you and they start to connect with you as a person. So there, you know, you've got gym. Obviously, it's very easy content, training, exercise form, or not even that, just showing off what you're doing, why you're doing it, attitudes around a certain movement, why you love it, why you don't. Even just, okay, on the treadmill, so you've got actual like training. There'll be loads of stuff you can do there. There's loads of B-roll. My writing is terrible. It looks like brol, because it does, actually it spells brol. That's why it looks like brol. Then we've got cardio, because when I'm on the Stairmaster, I don't know about you, but I'll do anything to pass the time. And, you know, you can take a photo of the gym, take a photo from your camera roll, and then anything that you've heard, anything on a podcast, anything that's found useful, anything that's helpful, anything that you like, you could just write text down. Simple as that. And then after the gym, you've got post-workout. So with this, what do you eat? Why do you eat it? You know, brands of cereal, brands of whey, all these sorts of things. You know, start to explain about that. Again, opinions. People are more interested in your opinions than they are in facts, because facts are becoming worthless now with AI. So the more human you can get, the more opinions and interests you can get, the better. And then from that, to be fair, I've got calls normally, so I can share this element of my work sometimes. So just share a call, explain what we're doing, and then beyond that, you've got other meals. For me, there's eggs, and this is it. It's just the detail of this. Okay, eggs. How do you cook your eggs? Why do you like cooking it that way? Why is that the best way to cook eggs? What sauces do you like? Why is that the best sauce? All these little things that appear super trite are just easy things for people to connect with you. So you've got that. Then I might do some steps. And then I personally read. So I'm reading a lot of sci-fi. So there's books, why I like them. Maybe it's sort of like a section or like a character arc. If you can bear to read this character arc. Okay, there's that. And then for me, as I said, I paint. There's the lore, which I can share. So that's like updates. For yourself, I don't expect you to be involved in that like I am, but there's elements like that, but I'm just trying to forecast my day. And there's like, you know, local shops, settings, all those sorts of things. There's, oh Jesus Christ, this is getting ridiculous now, John. Right, move that. And there's TV. There's film. What are you watching? Why are you watching it? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Why do you like that person? Who was I talking to on a call earlier? Talking about Marvel. Okay, what do you like? I like action films. Okay, what type of films? Marvel, superhero, do you like this? Oh, I like Marvel. Yeah. What's your favorite character? Tony Stark. Why not Iron Man? Why did you say Tony Stark specifically? Oh, because of his character arc. He starts off with this. I find that interesting. How do you resonate? You won't believe the amount of stuff like that. I've put up a story of me because I'm in America. There's 7-Eleven, which we don't have in the UK. I find it fascinating. I actually love this place, because you go in and there's like Monster on offer, and they've got these rotating hot dogs which just glisten. And I just put that. The glistening caught my eye from afar, and I just videoed it, and I just saw these hot dogs rotating, and I'm like, and I'm like, has anyone ever actually eaten these? And I got responses off it. So it's hard to create a perfect bullet plan forecast for you with this, but what I wanted to do here is illustrate what you can pull from your standard average day. And if you can do this and start to build your awareness of what to share, you're going to provide more connection points. The reason being is, look, okay, you've got service, and then you've got human. Now, if you look at the market, 3% are rated by, actually, I'll tell you what, this might be a better way to illustrate it. So I'm going to get rid of that. This is the segment of a marketplace. You have different levels of interest throughout the market. Now, 3% of the market are in a buying state. 3% of the market have probably seen you, they're problem aware, they know what they're doing. Oh, they don't know what they're doing, sorry. They know they've got a problem. They know they want to change it. They're actively researching, and they probably decided you are the one to go for. So these are the people who be interested in the service. Now, underneath that, you've got 17% actively researching. They kind of might be interested in service, but the majority won't. They'll be more interested in you, who you are as a person, and some of the commonalities they might share with you, or even the differences that will still create curiosity, or just give an opportunity to connect with you. So 17% actually researching. And then you've got 20% who are problem aware. What this actually means in plain English is some people have probably seen a photo of themselves from the side on, or they come up from a holiday and they kind of felt their clothes tighter, and they kind of seen that and go, wow, I look like a sock full of cake mix. I need to change that about my life. So they become aware that they have an issue. They become aware that they haven't noticed progress between both cuts, so they haven't put on tissue in the last 18-month bulk. Painful. So I probably need to do something about it. They're not actively researching, but they're aware. But because they're not actively researching, they're not going to be interested in service or anything you do specifically. It's more, they'll be interested in you as a person. And the vast majority of the market, 60%, are in not problem aware. They haven't seen any photo. They don't want to change. They don't think they need to do anything different. Then definitely not going to be interested in service. They're going to be interested in you. So what this adds up to is around sort of 5% when you incorporate some of this market. Some of these guys here are probably going to respond to stories which are basically circa around coaching. Whereas 95% are going to resonate about you, just being humans and sharing human things like what we eat, what we like, what we don't like, what we're watching, why we're doing it, steps, scenery, different settings, what they're experiencing, something similar, something different to them. So if we can shift your stories more towards you, and I think the best ratio with this at least is like 80% nothing to do with coaching, 20% to do with coaching. I think that's a really good balance, because what you'll find with this is you'll have a lot more people providing an easier opportunity to go from viewing a story to reacting. And then from that point on in the conversation, we can just chat, we can just talk. And this is where you look at the DM process. So if we look at DMs, and not a lot of them got a bad name because of the latter half, but you've got nurturing. I have got another video about this. You can check out my channel, or I go through the latter half, and then you've got I'll just call it like inquiry process, And the thing is here, if I just draw a line down there, everyone, when I say the word or the phrase DMs or whatever, everyone just thinks of the inquiries. They just literally go to this and go, yeah, that's what I do. Whereas a huge portion of DMs and effort should be spent on the nurturing. It should be spent building conversations, resonating, helping other people, or just being casual, being social. And then if you do that consistently, you're going to build trust. And then once you build trust, and then you build intrigue and you build familiarity. You build intrigue. What does that do? That actually makes them consume your content. So you now grab attention, you now get that familiarity. They now, next time they see your content, that's going to do the heavy lifting for you. So in the DMs, we don't really sell anything. We just talk to people and ask questions and move people forward if we can, if they're the right fit for our service. Your content should do the lion's share of selling people on increasing their belief that they can get a result on themselves with the process and with working with you. But this is crucial because if you think about it logically, one view is not 100% of a view. One view could just be someone watching 3 seconds. So when we spend time building effort, putting effort to the stories and connecting with people every 24 hours, we're doing our best to make them more aware and more informed of what we do within the content. And then there's a process when they show some level of interest. This is typically when you go from, okay, what's the goal? What do they want? What's holding them back? I.e., what do we have to overcome, and explain very clearly to show them how we're different and how this is going to be different going forwards. And then, okay, expectation of results once we overcome that struggle with our process, and then it's next steps. Realistically, that can happen in one conversation, and then everything we're doing with this can take 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, depending on the person. This is a long process, and this is multiple conversations, and this is where patience comes in, because honestly, the longer you can wait between asking for something and giving something out, the more trust you'll build. I'll repeat that in better English. If you can tolerate a large delay between giving something out and expecting or wanting something in return, you're going to build significantly more trust, more goodwill, and more brand power. So, daily habits of sharing more about yourself on stories, as much as you're comfortable with in the early stages, and then building into that growth phase of just being more familiar online, is going to provide infinite more opportunities for people to resonate, connect, and create, and grab that bait off the fishing line, back on that analogy, and then you're going to get more conversations, you're going to get more chat. Naturally, people are then going to start to watch and consume the content, which does the selling. They're going to be probably come through this stage a little bit more readily, and you're going to get more inbound inflow, more inbound conversations, more inbound interest. This is what we want as coaches. We want people coming to us. Yes, we don't want to go out to them. And another reason why I can sell you on this, and why this is more important and why it's more beneficial than outbound DMs, these people coming through here, do you think they're more informed about you, your process, and the results they could expect than someone that's never watched you before, who just receives one cold message and then is get pushed through a process onto a call? Do you think they're more informed? Yes, of course. So how people enter calls, how people enter your business is incredibly important. The context of where they come from determines how long they're going to stay inside a service. Because cold outreach and ads, the quick routes, which everyone wants to get on board with because they think it's an infinite silver bullet, people don't know anything about you. They're coming through on the offer, not because they know you. They're not coming to work with you, they want to work with the offer. Those are the worst clients. They're fickle, and they typically ghost, not communicate, and drop off early. Waste of time, money, and effort on the front end of marketing, and they destroy hopes, and it's just like wading through treacle, trying to build that business. Whereas this, what we're talking about here, this is where we put effort with nurturing and let the compounding effect of nurturing and good content build that trust and affinity to get them interested before they come through and entertain or engage us in a conversation about working together. There's loads of things we can do with this to kind of convert. And if you're struck with any of part of this process, you can book at a call below. I can go through everything in as much detail as we can to figure out how you're going to transfer, if you want to prompt this, or what part of the nurturing, what part of the inquiry process is holding you back. Because once you do fix this, you can have a radical change. Pippa is a good example. 1 call every other week. So some weeks, some months, you had no calls because she massively struggled with moving conversations across from nurturing, from friend zone into her business. She felt like, how can I broach the topic of what I do? I feel really awkward. And then we tweaked a few things, implemented offers of help, implemented lead magnets, implemented like simple things like, okay, great, I'm really glad this helped you. Have you thought of the results we get if we work together? Little phrases here and there can help open and engage the thought, which they probably haven't thought until this point, into working together in a nice, subtle way. And then that resulted in 10 calls booked that week, next week, 8 calls booked, the week after, 13 calls booked. And then materially, in terms of income, 19 to 63 clients in the space of 4 months. And I think that, I can't remember what she started, I think it was 2.3K, roughly, around 2.5K. And then she got to 12K. And then she's obviously gone on build from there. So this is a really, it's really lucrative once you nail this. But I have a definite like a mindset and approach based on nurturing first, leaning more towards the nurturing and letting this process take care of itself. Because if you can just pour all your attention and effort into your content and building trust and connection points within the content on the stories, they will come through. And when they come through, they want to come through because they want to work with you. They trust you, they like you, they have more time for you, they will most likely convert at a higher rate and pay more, and they'll stay. And people who stay, most likely adhere. People who adhere, better results. Better results, more indirect inquiries, but also better relationships, better referrals. It's a self-fulfilling lead generation system off the back end of your service that does the selling for you. You spend more time on coaching, more time being yourself, sharing stuff on your stories. It feels so much more natural, so much more authentic. You don't have to feel sleazy. You don't have to be a salesman. All you have to do is grow a proverbial nutsack and be more of you, and then show your clients succeeding, and then obviously refine content to show you off in your best light, resonate with the audience. And then what you'll find is people will come through naturally. It takes more patience this way because you're not going to run an ad and you're not going to go out there practically and close people and get, to be fair, if you go out there and try and close people, you're going to get the square root of bugger all. But this is it's a much more enjoyable process, and it compounds over time. But that's it for now, guys. Hope this helps. Like I said, if you can nail this and improve the volume of conversations coming through, I know that's going to make a significant difference to your business, and not only increase the amount of conversations you have, more clients you're going to have, but obviously that's going to be instrumental to help build that business and get that growth climbing month on month on month. If you do need help with this, as I say, I do this for a living. I help raise over $4.8 million for my clients. So sometimes it takes a little bit of one-on-one help where we can kind of sift through and find out what your bottleneck is. And like I said, we can work together to work out what to say, how we're going to build this for your own lifestyle, how we're going to factor your stories, and then what communication strategy we're going to do for you.